for some Miami Heat basketball with Deron Butler on Kendall Sports Network.
On 5. It's Saturday night, and that means Miami Heat basketball is once again on your screen. I'm Deron Butler, welcoming you to another edition of Heat Zone Live, courtesy of Kendall Sports Network. The Miami Heat are back at home as they host a familiar foe and rival in the Chicago Bulls, and what should be a back-to-back weekend series matchup on their home floor in Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida. 2 nights ago, the Heat came out on top in what was a wild yet very close matchup between these two. Ayo Dosunmu went off late in the fourth quarter, getting his baskets to fall and trying to get the Bulls back into this game. But of course, the Miami Heat managed to come away the victors of this one. And now that they're back in their home court, Miami looks to go back-to-back and doing the same thing again. So here are my 3 keys for tonight's game. Key number 1, establish the defense early and aggressively. This is going back to late in the fourth quarter where the Bulls went on a run led by Ayo Dosunmu, and the Heat's defense didn't seem like they were locked in for most of that sequence. So if Miami can manage to establish some aggressive defense early on in the game, that will help their offense a bit more. I know Miami's offense can be kind of on and off at times, despite leading first in the NBA in pace and flow. All it takes is getting back to their defensive roots against the Bulls and making sure they can get some fast break points, transition points, and even get into the free throw line. Key number 2 is rebounding. I can't stress this enough. Whether it's defensive rebounding or offensive rebounding, Miami needs to attack the boards. Don't be afraid to crash the glass. And in the last game against Chicago, I think both teams were kind of evenly matched in the rebounding department. I'm not sure, but I think the edge slightly went to Miami. Now the Heat can manage to get more rebounds over the Bulls. I think that's going to help them a lot. And third and finally, getting some bench points. Jaime Jaquez Jr. was fantastic for the Heat getting down the stretch for the Bulls, the Heat. Jaime Jaquez Jr. was fantastic for the Heat coming off the bench. I think he had 23 points in that game. But the rest of the Heat bench needs to come alive. Whether it's Nikola Jovic, whether it's Drew Smith, or Simone Fontecchio, Miami's gonna need their bench once again against this Bulls team that looks like they can get out on a scoring run if no one is stopping them. So those are my 3 keys for tonight's game. I know it sounds redundant, but at the same time, going up against the Bulls, this is a team that you have to be familiar with because you played against them twice this season, and now you're playing again 2 more times. So this should be a matchup where familiarity and knowing what to do down pat will be the key of this game. So there should be no feeling out process whatsoever between these 2 teams, because they're now playing against each other on the weekend, and this should be another high-scoring game where we should see big buckets, free throws, and even the occasional dunks. So right now, both teams are warming up, and we will have the starting lineups and opening tip-off very soon. If you have any questions or comments regarding the Miami Heat this season, or the NBA season itself, or the All-Star game coming up this next month, or even trade rumors regarding Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ja Morant, and Jonathan Kuminga, feel free to drop a comment or question, and I'll answer it for you. So right now, We'll wait for the starting lineups and opening tip-off. All right, I see we got some comments. Genwell Belandre says, "What is defense? Don't ask the Hawks and the Pacers right now." Ooh, the Atlanta Hawks, they fell off. The Trae Young trade, I don't think that helped them at all. And the Pacers, even though they did beat us, even though they managed to beat us recently in our last game, I think the Pacers got a lot of issues to worry about. I mean, had it not been for that ACL injury to Tyrese Halliburton last season, I think the Pacers would most likely be a top 6 team right now in the Eastern Conference. But of course, a lot of things happen, and both teams look like they don't know what defense is. So that's pretty telling for both teams right now. And I see you also predicted Jaime Jaquez hitting 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists for tonight's game. Is that correct? Hopefully you hit a good parlay, man. I think you may have a good parlay if Jaime Jaquez Jr. goes off tonight. So we should have a good game on our hands very soon. And we are back. Here is the starting lineups for tonight's game. For the Bulls, we have Matas Buzelis, Kevin Huerter, Patrick Williams, Isaac Okoro, and Ayo Dosunmu. And for your Miami Heat, we have Myron Gardner, Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, Pelle Larsson, and Kasper Siakajunas. Miami are still without Davion Mitchell, who is still nursing that shoulder injury he had a few games ago. Miami are also without Tyler Hero, of course. So right now, it's still next man up mentality no matter what. And I want to see what Myron Gardner can do in his starting debut for Miami. Usually he's off the bench for the Heat, and at times he is playing for the Sioux Falls Skyforce. But this is going to be very interesting to see what young Myron Gardner can do right now. All right, the players are getting themselves situated for opening tip-off. This one should be fun and high scoring. Right there we see Ayo Dosunmu getting himself ready for tonight's game, along with Bulls head coach Billy Donovan. The Bulls are in the white tonight, the Heat are in the red. There you see Bam Adebayo, along with Pelle Larsson. And we have the tip-off. Miami wins the tip, and here we go for tonight's game. Kasper Siakajunas has the ball. Gives it to Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins with the step back. He misses it. Rebound by Chicago. Here comes Ayo Dosunmu. Guarded by Myron Gardner. He gives it to Kevin Huerter. To Matas Buzelis. Matas Buzelis loses the ball, and then comes up to Miami. All right, here comes Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins finds Gardner. Finds Pelle Larsson. Larsson driving in, and he's going to be fouled. Larsson will go to the line for 2 free throws. Right now we're looking for some first baskets from Miami. Pelle Larsson missing the first free throw. And Pelle Larsson knocks down the second free throw. So Miami on the board first. Here comes Patrick Williams, guarded by Bam. Williams gives it to Huerter, to Ayo Dosunmu, to Matas Buzelis. Buzelis loses the ball, and here comes Miami. But nope. I think that might be either a foul or out of bounds on Kasper Siakajunas. Yeah, Siakajunas stepped out of bounds. So that's going to be Bulls ball. Here comes Ayo Dosunmu. Ball's knocked loose, and here comes Miami. Siakajunas to Wiggins. Wiggins flying through. And there's Myron Gardner from out of nowhere like he's Randy Orton for the dunk. And that's going to prompt a Chicago Bulls timeout. Nicely done by Myron Gardner. Wiggins missing that layup, but Myron Gardner was there for the putback. It's early, but the Heat lead 3-0. And also, for those of you who caught the Royal Rumble, give me your thoughts on how that match went down for you guys. All right. Hell Beast 183 asks, Did Hero retire? No, he did not retire. He's still with the Miami Heat. He's still injured, unfortunately. But it just seems like a forlorn conclusion that Tyler Hero may be on his way out of Miami, because he hasn't played a lot of games for Miami this season. He hasn't played a lot of games, and I don't know what's been going on with him other than he's injured. And I think we have somebody from Russia, TC22. When does the match start and where can I look it? Well, the match has already started. I mean, if you have the NBA app, you can follow it. That's a safe bet, or you can go on ESPN. And yeah, Will Belandris 980 says that's a foul. Oh, on Kasper Siaka-Junius, I thought he stepped out of bounds, but apparently the referee said that he fouled Matas Buzelis. And Jen Will also asked my thoughts on the Paul George ban. Oh my God, Paul George. I don't know what he did. I don't know what kind of performance enhancing drugs he took or supplements he took. But I think that 25 game ban is kind of extreme, don't you think? 25 games getting banned, and you had to come back 2 months. Yeah, like a month or so, just to play against the Chicago Bulls. I don't think that should be. At least a 10 to 15 game ban, at least. A 10 to 15 game ban for Paul George, not 25. But then again, I'm not the commissioner of the NBA and I do not set the rules. So that kind of sucks right there for Paul George. Alright, so we're back. And the Chicago Bulls are on the board with that Patrick Williams 3. Alright, here comes Kasper Siaka-Junius. Siaka-Junius to Myron Gardner. Miami's passing the ball around. They give it to Bam. Corner 3. That's a miss. And here comes Chicago. Matas Buzelis. Driving into the lane. Gets fouled and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. I think that foul could be on either Pelle Larsson or Kasper Siaka-Junius. I'm not sure. Matas Buzelis knocks down the first free throw. And Matas Buzelis knocks down both free throws. Alright, Siaka-Junius gives it to Myron Gardner. Here comes Pelle Larsson. Larsson to Gardner for 3. And here comes Chicago again. Buzelis right now, guarded by Wiggins. Gives it to Patrick Williams. Here comes Kevin Huerter. Ayo Dosunmu now has it. Ayo Dosunmu driving into the lane, uncontested, gets his shot blocked. Here comes Miami now. Siaka-Junius to Larsson. Larsson was trying to give it to Bam, but the ball got loose. So right now it's back to Chicago ball. Both teams starting off on a bad spot with the turnovers. Chicago with 4, Miami with 3. Kevin Huerter missing that 3. Here comes Bam, guarded by Matas Buzelis. Out to Gardner. Siaka-Junius for 3. And that goes over and back out of the rim. Up and over the rim, I should say. So that will be Chicago ball. right now, Chicago has possession of the ball. Kevin Huerter for the corner three. That misses. Here comes Miami. Bam, flying in. Misses that basket. Rebound by Patrick Williams, and he gets tangled up. He gives it to Matas Buzelis. Here comes Buzelis. Out to Okoro. Kevin Huerter to Patrick Williams for the three. And Patrick Williams knocks down that three, and the Bulls are up by 5. Here comes Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins gets fouled, and that one will be side out for Miami. Alright, so it's now 10-3 Chicago. And there's Patrick. So there's Isaac Okoro with that layup. And that's gonna prompt a Heat timeout. Erik Spoelstra is not loving what he is seeing right now. The Bulls are on a run right now as they lead 12-3. Yeah, Miami's not showing any kind of offense right now, and they look like they are going through the motions. And their defense hasn't picked up the intensity either. And an inexperienced backcourt of Paolo Larson and Kasper Ziakajounis. Yeah, plus Myron Gardner, that doesn't make things any better either. But then again, it's the Miami Heat. They always know how to make things work. So whether it's an experience or just jitters or they need to get on one page, Miami needs to find a way to win. All right, and we are back. The score is 12-3 Chicago. The Bulls right now on a little run of their own, and they have been knocking down baskets left and right. Meanwhile, Miami looks like they are just struggling out there. Alright, Jaime Jaquez Jr. is now in the game for Miami. Let's see if he can get to 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists for the Heat. Here goes Jaquez. Gets his own putback, and he's on the board. And that puts it in to the Bulls' little run as Miami trails by 7. Here goes Patrick Williams. Gives it to Isaac Okoro. goes Ayo Dosunmu to Matas Baselis for three. That rims out. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Kasparas Jakajunas. He finds Myron Gardner. Back to Jakajunas. To Jaquez. Here comes Jaquez with the spin. Jaquez out to Jakajunas. Jakajunas to Wiggins. Wiggins, step back three. And Andrew Chief Wiggins knocks it down for three. And now the Heat trail by 4 in this game. Here comes Isaac Okoro cutting through the lane, and he gets a layup. And the Bulls go up by 6. Here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Gives it to Wiggins. Wiggins again for 3. And that one rims off. Rebound goes to Chicago. All right, here comes Patrick Williams. Williams missing that layup. And here comes Myron Gardner. Gives it to Jakajunas. Here comes Bam. Flying into the lane. Bam gets his shot blocked. And here comes Ayo Dosunmu. Finds Isaac Okoro streaking up ahead. And the Bulls go up by 8 with that fast break. Isaac Okoro now with 6 points in this one. Here comes Jaquez. Jaquez makes the basket. And now the Heat trail by 6. Here comes Ayo Dosunmu. Dosunmu misses that one. Rebound by Myron Gardner. Here comes Jakajunas. Flying into the lane. He gets... No, Dottie got fouled. Ball's knocked loose. It's going to go right back with the Miami Heat. Kelly Ware now entering the game for the Miami Heat. And so is Simone Fontecchio. Bam and Myron Gardner will take a seat. All right, Miami will have his side out. They give it to Simone Fontecchio. Fontecchio gives it to Wiggins. Here comes Jaquez. They give it to Kelly Ware. And Kelly Ware dominates in the paint and gets 2 points on the board for himself. The Heat now trailing by 4. And that's going to be an and one opportunity for Dalen Terry. Chicago now go up by 6. That foul is going to be on Kelly Ware. And Dalen Terry missing the and one opportunity. Here comes Jaquez flying in. And the Bulls get the rebound. Dalen Terry passes it out. Dalen Terry for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Jaquez. Gives it to Simone Fontecchio. To Kelly Ware. Kasparas Jakajunas for 3. And Kasparas, the friendly, goes Jakajunas 3 for Miami. The Heat trail by 3. And there's Ayo Dosunmu adding 2 more for Chicago. As the Bulls go up by 5. Alright, here come the Heat. Simone Fontecchio has the ball. Driving in, and he gets the layup. And the Heat trail by 3. Here come the Bulls. Dalen Terry. That's a corner 3 for Chicago. And that one rims out. Rebound by Kelly Ware. Here comes Simone Fontecchio. Fontecchio out to Wiggins. Here comes Kasparas Jakajunas. Kelly Ware, open 3. And that one rims out. Rebound by Chicago. Here comes Ayo Dosunmu. Passes the ball. That's a 3 on the way. And Chicago knocks down that 3. Javon Carter knocking it down. All right, and here come the Heat. Hawkes, guarded by Dalen Terry. All right, here comes Hawkes. Hawkes passes it out to Wiggins for 3. And Andrew Chief Wiggins 3 for Miami as the Heat trail by 3. Here comes Ayo Dosunmu again. Missing the layup. Rebound by Simone Fontecchio. Fontecchio finds Yakajunas. Comes Yakajunas. Out to Wiggins. Wiggins loses the ball, and here comes Javon Carter. Javon Carter with the step back 3. And he knocks it down. And the Bulls go up by 6 again. All right, here comes Miami. Jaime Jaquez Jr., guarded by Dalen Terry. Finds Simone Fontecchio for the corner 3. That one rims out. Rebound by Chicago. Here comes Dalen Terry. And he gets the layup. And that's going to prompt another Heat timeout. Just when you thought the Heat was trying to come back into this one, the Bulls answer back with baskets from their own. The Bulls lead 28-20. Yeah, and again, Will says this is a criminal display. Yeah, the defense has been on and off, and so has the offense. Can't really explain why the Heat aren't executing the way that they are, but they should find a way to get to the rim, or at least find someone, or do more extra passes. Don't just rely on one person to do everything. Because right now the Bulls are playing like a synchronized team, and everybody is working as one unit. Hopefully Miami can find a way to get back into this one. I mean, no, it's early and they're down by 8, but there's still time to get it together. All right, we are back. Score is 28-20 in Chicago. Nikola Jovic is now entering the game for Miami. All right, here comes Hawkes. All right, Drew Smith is also in the game for Miami. There's a 3 from Simone Fontecchio, and that one rims out. Here comes Yuki Karamura. He gives the ball to Dalen Terry. Javon Carter again for 3. That one rims out. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Bulls. It will be Heat ball. All right, here comes Simone Fontecchio. Fontecchio gets tangled up, but he gets fouled. That one's going to be on Javon Carter. All right, Miami will have it side out instead. All right, here comes Bam. Bam gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. See if Miami can get back on track on offense. Bam right now at the line. Knocks down the first free throw. And Bam knocks down both free throws. So the Heat trail by 6. All right, here comes Javon Carter. Carter gives it to Kawamura. Right, here comes Phillips. Right, here comes Phillips. And Phillips gets the layup. Plus, he will go to the line for the and one. Chicago right now are on a roll. Chicago already with 12 bench points to Miami's 8. And Phillips knocks down the and one for Chicago. So they're now up by 9. There's a 3 on the way from Bam. And that one rims out. Alright, here comes Yuki Karamura. Karamura, guarded by Bam. Gives it to Matas Buzelis. Buzelis almost loses the ball. Recovered by Javon Carter. And that's going to be a 24-second violation on the Bulls. It will be Heat ball. All right, Chicago already now with 5 turnovers to Miami's 4. Here comes Hawkins. Hawkins gives the ball to Drew Smith. Here goes Smith. And Drew Smith gets the basket and will go to the line for the and one. Nice play up ahead by Drew Smith, getting that reach and foul on Yuki Karamura. And Drew Smith knocks down the and one. Here comes Yuki Karamura. He played for Team Japan in the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. He showed out. And this is his second stint with the Chicago Bulls. Yuki Karamura missing that basket, and that will end the first quarter. It's been all Chicago so far in this game, despite the Heat getting their baskets here and there. Nice moments from Myron Gardner as well. At the end of the first quarter, the Bulls lead 31-25. Stick around, we'll have more action in the second quarter. You're watching Heat Zone Live on Kendall Sports Network. The Bulls are getting to the rim very easily. Again, they are getting to the rim way too easy. I think Miami needs to rough it up in the paint. That's what they need to do. The Heat need to rough it up in the paint. Do not allow the Bulls to get easy layups. Do not allow them to get easy baskets, period. Use your defense. That's what they need to do in the second quarter and in the second half going forward. And we are back. Score is 31-25 Chicago. The Bulls have the lead into the second quarter. Here comes Matas Buzelis. And Matas Buzelis getting another easy layup over Bam as the Bulls go up by 8. Here comes Jovic. Jovic loses the ball, and that one goes out of bounds. It will be Chicago ball. Right now, the Bulls are shooting 52% from the field. Miami, a very tepid 34%. Here comes Kevin Huerter. Misses the basket. Rebound by Jovic. All right, Jovic guarded by Yuki Katamura. Here comes Drew Smith. Jaime Jaquez Jr. finds Jovic. Jovic is double teamed. Kicks it out to Drew Smith for 3. And Drew Ski Smith 3 for Miami. The Heat trail by 5. All right, and here comes Chicago now. Kevin Huerter loses the ball, and here comes Miami. Jovic with the interception. Jovic driving into the lane. Misses the basket, and here come the Bulls on a fast break. Kevin Huerter getting the layup over Drew Smith. The Bulls now lead by 7 in this game. Here comes Drew Smith, guarded by Yuki Katamura. Gives it to Bam. Here comes Nikola Jovic. Jaquez finding Simone Fontecchio for 3, and that one rims out. Here comes Yuki Katamura. Katamura finds Kevin Huerter. Huerter guarded by Bam. Back to Kawamura. Kawamura driving into the lane. Finds Kevin Huerter, and he not only gets the basket, but he's going to the line for the and one. Nice assist from Yuki Katamura. Nice give and go by the Bulls. Right now, they're playing better basketball than Miami. And Kevin Huerter coming up short with that and one opportunity. And Simone Fontecchio. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio 3. Mwah! Miami are now within 6. Here comes Katamura. Driving in. Loses the ball. Gets it right back. Chicago recovers the ball. Patrick Williams has it. All right, Miami recovers the rebound, and that's going to be a foul. All right, here comes Paolo Larson entering the game for Miami. Oh, looks like that's going to be a... All right, Chicago will have the ball back in their possession. Here comes Yuki Katamura. Katamura for 3. And that rims out. Here comes Bam. Bam guarded by Patrick Williams. He finds Paolo Larson. Larson out to Drew Smith. Back to Simone Fontecchio for 3. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio 3. Mwah! And that's going to prompt a Bulls timeout. The Heat are starting to come back into this one again. But can they come back to take the lead? So far, it's been a nice sequence from the Heat finding the open player and getting threes to fall from Simone Fontecchio. The Bulls lead 37-34. And we are back. Can you believe it's been 20 years since the Miami Heat won their first NBA championship? It's been a long time. I can remember since it was yesterday, seeing guys like Shaq, D Wade, Alonzo Mourning, Michael Doliak, Antoine Walker, Jason Williams, James Posey, Shandon Anderson, a lot of those, and of course Jason Capono, Udonis Haslem. They played with a lot of tenacity and a lot of desire as they're coming back down 2-0 against the Dallas Mavericks. And they managed to come out on top. So it's been 20 years since then. And on February the 3rd, the Heat will host the Atlanta Hawks as part of the 20th anniversary game. But right now, let's focus on the here and now. Myron Gardner coming up with that layup for Miami. Now the Heat are within 1. Yuki Katamura for 3. Ichi-ni-san! Yuki Katamura knocks it down for 3, and the Bulls are up by 4. Alright, and here comes Pelle Larsson. Gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. So that was a nice sequence from Drew Smith finding Myron Gardner for the go-ahead layup. You know, effort like that on defense helps generate easy offense. All right, Pelle Larsson knocking down his first free throw. All right, Ayo Dosunmu is back in the game for Chicago, and so is Javon Carter. Kevin Huerter and Yuki Katamura will take a seat on the bench. And Pelle Larsson makes both free throws. So right now the Bulls have a 2-point lead. Here goes Ayo Dosunmu. Patrick Williams. Williams missing the basket. Stepping out of bounds, ball gets knocked loose. And that one's going to go against Miami. It'll be Chicago ball. Alright, Matas Gonzalez will come out of the game. Alright, here comes Isaac Okoro. Missing that layup. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Bam. Finds Myron Gardner for 3. And Myron MG3 Gardner knocking down that 3. Alright, Chicago passing the ball around. Has a 3 on the way from Patrick Williams. That rims out. Rebound by Myron Gardner. Finds Pelle Larsson. Finds Bam. And Bam gets the basket. And the Heat lead by 3. Miami right now on a 15-3 run. Here comes Ayo Dosunmu. Thought about going for the 3. Goes into the lane. Misses it. Rebound by the Heat. And here comes Myron Gardner again. Finding Drew Smith. Smith out to Pelle Larsson. To Bam. Bam finding Yakajunas. Pelle Larsson. Pelle Larsson now. Loses the ball, and here comes Chicago again. Here comes Isaac Okoro. Okoro gets fouled. Both teams right now with 7 turnovers, and what's been a back and forth sequence between these two teams. Alright, so right now we have a little quick timeout. The Bulls are down by 3. Right now the crew is cleaning up the floor for any scuffs or marks. I don't know what's taking so long. But right now, if you guys have any questions or comments regarding the Miami Heat or anything NBA related, or your thoughts on tonight's Royal Rumble, feel free to drop a comment and I'll answer it for you. Right now, the standings in the Eastern Conference, 6 through 11. Philadelphia is in 6th place. Orlando is in 7th. Miami is in 8th. The Chicago Bulls are in 9th. Atlanta Hawks 10th. And the Charlotte Hornets are in 11th. But right now, the Charlotte Hornets, they might squeeze their way into the play-in territory. Meanwhile, the Heat and the Magic are still fighting for first place in the Southeast Division. I mean, even though both the Heat and the Magic are in the play-in, that still tells you the status of the Southeast Division being the weakest of the 3 divisions right now. Of course, the strongest being the Atlantic Division, and not too far behind is the Central Division. Alright, we're back. Isaac Okoro's at the line. Okoro knocks down the first free throw. Nikola Jovic and Andrew Wiggins re-enter the game for Miami, replacing Bam and Myron Gardner. Matas Buzelis also re-enters the game for Chicago. And Isaac Okoro knocks down both free throws. So now Miami leads by a point. Here comes Hawkins. Finds Yakajunas. Out to Hawkins. For 3. That one rims out. Rebound by Ayo Dosunmu. Here comes Dosunmu. Gives it to Buzelis. Chicago swinging the ball around. They give it to Javon Carter. Back to Buzelis. To Isaac Okoro. Back to Buzelis. Buzelis driving in. Gets his shot blocked. And here comes Nikola Jovic. Miami right now shooting 41% from the field. And there's a 3 from Yakajunas. That one rims out. Rebound by Dalen Terry. Terry finding Matas Buzelis for 3. And Matas Buzelis knocks down that 3 to give Chicago the lead. Buzelis right now with 7 points in this game. here comes Wiggins with a three of his own, and that one rims out. Rebound by Chicago. All right, here comes Vazelis. Loses the ball, and here comes Miami. Tyler Larson driving in. He gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Fouls on Ayo Dosunmu. Larson knocks down the first free throw. Patrick Williams now entering the game for Chicago. Isaac Okoro will take a seat. And Larson knocks down both free throws. We are now tied at 45. All right, here comes Ayo Dosunmu. Dosunmu guarded by Hawkins. Passes out to Vazelis. And another interception from Miami. Here comes Nikola Jovic. Gets his shot blocked by Matas Vazelis. And here comes the Bulls again. Dalen Terry gets the dunk, but no, they call traveling. Too many steps. Now it's a nice block by Matas Vazelis. Too bad on the other end. Dalen Terry traveled. All right, here comes Hawkins. Hawkins finds Kaspers Yakajunas for 3, and Kaspers, the friendly, goes Yakajunas 3 from Miami as the Heat go up by 3. All right, here comes Javon Carter. And he makes a step back. Sorry, the Heat lead by 1 in this game. And here comes Hawkins. Hawkins gets the basket over. And the Heat go up by 3. All right, Patrick Williams loses the ball, and here comes Hawkins with a spin. Hawkins lost the ball, and now Ayo Dosunmu has it. Dosunmu for 3. That's an air ball. Rebound by Hawkins. Hawkins gives it to Larson. Larson to Hawkins. To Wiggins for 3. And Andrew Chief Wiggins 3 from Miami. Now the Heat go up by 6. The Heat go up by 5. I thought that was a 3-pointer, but the referee's counted as a 2. Matas Vazelis for 3. Rims out. Rebound by Larson. Pushes it all the way to head to Hawkins with a fast break, and he gets it. Now the Heat go up by 7. Here comes Dalen Terry. Corner 3. That one rims out. Rebound by Yakajunas. Gives it to Hawkins again. Here comes Hawkins. Hawkins once again getting another layup. And that prompts a Chicago Bulls timeout. Right now, it's been all Hawkins all the time. Hawkins Jr. is feeling it right now. And so should you, because the Heat are up 54-47. We'll be back for more Heat action, courtesy of Kendall Sports Network. And we're good to see our friend from Canada, Luis Rubin, joining us. Good evening from Canada. Good evening to you too, sir. Hope you are enjoying tonight's Heat game against the Bulls. Right now, if you have any questions about the Miami Heat or comments about the NBA season, trade rumors, or even tonight's Royal Rumble, if you saw it, tell me what things you liked about it or you didn't like about it, or who you think should have won the men's and women's Royal Rumbles. Feel free to drop a comment, and I'll answer them for you. And we are back. Right now, the Heat are on a roll as they lead. Sorry, they lead 56-47. So it's a 9-point game. I'm sorry, I thought it was a 7-point game, but instead it's a 9-point game. Yeah, it's a 9-point game. Chicago right now passing the ball. They give it to Patrick Williams. Back to Buzelis. Here comes Buzelis. Loses the ball, and here comes Miami. Jovic. Alley-oops it to Myron Gardner, almost missing the dunk. Oh my God. Montas right now with 7 points. We also have 7 turnovers. Here it is again. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Andrew Wiggins missing that dunk. All right, here comes Patrick Williams driving into the lane, and he manages to get the layup. And the Bulls right now trail by 7. Here comes Jovic for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Ayo Dosunmu. And now here go the Bulls. And that's a nice layup from Ayo Dosunmu. And right now the Bulls are trailing by 5. Here comes Hawkins. Gives it to Jovic. Jovic finding Yakajunas. Back to Jovic. Jovic driving in. Andrew Wiggins, corner 3. We're having some technical difficulties on our end. So right now that 3 should have counted. Right. So Pelle Larsson will go to the line for 2 free throws. I'm guessing Wiggins missed that 3. But it all makes up for it with Pelle Larsson knocking down the and 1. Alright, here goes Ayo Dosunmu. Dosunmu to Batellis. Miami with another interception. And that's a nice basket from Hawkins with a little floater as the Heat go up by 10. Alameda Hawkins Jr. right now with 12 points. 8 points away from that 20-point parlay. And here comes Montas Buzelis for 3, and he knocks it down. The Bulls now trail by 7. Here comes Hawkins. Gives it to Wiggins. And that's going to be a traveling violation on the Heat. Wiggins shuffled his feet before he can ever dribble. Oof, and that's going to be a foul on Miami. I think that one's going to be on Jaime Hawkins Jr. And that's going to send Ayo Dosunmu to the line for 2 free throws. All right, Ayo Dosunmu at the line for Chicago. He knocks down the first free throw. And Ayo Dosunmu knocks down both free throws. So right now the Heat's lead is now 5 points. Hawkins driving in. He gets fouled and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. All right, Jaime Hawkins Jr. now at the line for Miami. Hawkes makes the first free throw, and Myron Gardner re-enters the game for Miami. Kaspars Giacojunas will take a seat on the bench. And Hawkes knocks down both free throws. So right now the Heat's lead is at 7. Here comes Ayo Dosunmu. Finds Patrick Williams. Williams driving in. And that ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Heat ball. Referees are conversing with each other. So it says that's going to be a foul on. That's going to be a foul on Miami. So it'll be Bulls ball instead. I'm sorry. It's going to be Heat ball. Excuse me. Sorry. That was going to be Chicago ball for a second. All right, here comes Hawkes. Hawkes guarded by Isaac Okoro. Wiggins missing that basket. Rebound by Chicago. Here comes Dalen Terry. Out to Dosunmu. Javon Carter. Back to Dosunmu. Dosunmu with the pump fake. Loses the ball. And that one's going out of bounds. It'll be Heat ball. All right, here comes Paolo Larson. Larson guarded by Dosunmu. Here comes Larson with the spin. Finds Myron Gardner. Finds Bam. Corner three. And that will end the second. That will end the second quarter. Right now, Miami's offense is finding its way. It's all thanks to the Heat's defense. Cutting off passes and getting steals. The Heat right now lead 63-56. So far, so good for the Miami Heat. Even though they had a rocky start to the game, they managed to find their rhythm and they managed to find their pace. One thing I can say about the Heat is that even though they kind of start out bad, they always find a way back into the game. They always find a way back into this game. Even though the Heat are without Norman Powell out due to personal reasons, Davion Mitchell and Tyler Hero, of course, they're injured. Myron Gardner is opening some eyes right now for the Heat faithful. Myron Gardner is showing some explosive athleticism. He's getting to the rim with a lot of tenacity. Myron Gardner is a good example of a Heat culture guy. Let me say that again. Myron Gardner is a good example of a Heat culture guy. And I think he's going to develop into a Udonis Haslem type. Someone who's hard-nosed, someone who's willing to take charge. So it all depends on what the Heat will do with him. But as for the team itself, the reason why they're getting back into this game is not only cutting off passes from Chicago, but they're also getting steals. This goes back to my first key about consistent defense. Even though they didn't get off to a good start on defense in the first quarter, they managed to turn it around in the second quarter. So that's one key that's being shown right now. And of course, but Miami needs to attack the rim in the second half. I know Chicago is going to go on a run here and there, so Miami needs to be ready for that to happen. And Luis Rubin asks, do you think Miami will land Giannis? I think it's possible. I think it's possible that Miami will not only land Giannis, but it's gonna take a major effort for that to happen. I mean, given that the Milwaukee Bucks put out a huge price for anyone to land Giannis, that means giving up some young players, some draft picks, some swap picks here and there. If I'm Miami and seeing where I'm at right now in the standings, as well as trying to improve my roster, I say do it. Because not only will you get Giannis, but you'll also get an extra big in Bobby Portis Jr. Because with that length and strength, I think that will push Miami up into the top 6 in the Eastern Conference. Probably somewhere like, dare I say, a 5th seed or a 4th seed in the East. I would like to see Pat Riley execute this trade before the midseason trade deadline. I would love to see that happen. I do think Giannis will land in Miami for a lot of reasons. And not because he wants to play in South Beach, just something the fun. No. He and Bam Adebayo are not only good friends, but they also have the same agent. Keep that in mind. Bam Adebayo and Giannis Antetokounmpo have the same agent, and they have worked closely together. So, the odds of seeing Giannis in Miami are very high. But it all depends on how the Heat are willing to approach this trade. And Jenuel Bolandre says, maybe I should have put money. Oh, are you referring to the parlay with Jaime Jaquez Jr. hitting 25 and 4? 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists? Well, right now he's 8 points away from reaching 20 points. And I think you still have time to put in that parlay if you have to. And speaking of parlays, you can always do sports betting, whether it's through the Hard Rock app, whether it's through Bet365. It's never too late to put in a bet or two. So right now it's halftime. I'm gonna go get myself something to situate myself, and I'll be back ready for the second half. You're watching Heat Zone Live on Kendall Sports Network. And we are back. Here. All right, we're ready for the third quarter. Chicago has the ball. Ayo Dosunmu brings it up to the floor. Gives it to Patrick Williams. Here comes Kevin Huerter. Dosunmu. Patrick Williams with the fadeaway. He misses it. Rebound goes to Miami. Here comes Kasparas Jakujonas. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins gets the basket. And now Miami leads by 9. Here comes Dosunmu. Gives it to Matas Buzelis. Here comes Buzelis. Out to Isaac Okoro. Okoro finds Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter to Williams. That rims out, and here comes Miami. Rebound by Bam. Here comes Bam. Almost loses the ball. That's a 3 on the way from Pelle Larsson, and that one rims out. Rebound by the Bulls. Here comes Matas Buzelis. Buzelis driving in, loses the ball, but here comes Miami. Pelle Larsson finding Jakujonas. Alley-oop to Pelle Larsson. Nicely done by the Heat. And that's going to prompt the Bulls timeout. Excellent defense leads to excellent offense. And that was a nice heads-up play from Larsson to Jakujonas, back to Larsson. Nice European exchange between those two as the Heat lead 67-56. All right, and Jinwell Balandres says, not in the offseason. Giannis has 1 year left in. That is interesting. Giannis does have 1 year left on his contract. But I still believe Miami has a chance to acquire Giannis. And even after that, I think the Heat can work something out with Giannis. So it all depends on what happens between now and the rest of the season, and including the offseason. Because there's going to be a lot of money on the table and a lot of offers being made. And we are back. Score is 67-56. Miami has the lead right now. Here comes Chicago. Patrick Williams has the ball. Isaac Okoro drives into the lane and gets a layup. Alright, now here comes Kaspers Yakajunas. Yakajunas finds Wiggins for 3. That one rims off. Rebound by Bam. Finds Yakajunas for 3. And that will be a rebound for Chicago. Here comes Ayo Dosunmu. Ayo Dosunmu drives in and gets the layup. And right now, the Bulls are within 7. Here comes Wiggins. Ball goes flying out of bounds, and it will be Bulls ball. All right, here comes Isaac Okoro for 3, and he knocks it down. And suddenly the Bulls are starting to come back into this one. Isaac Okoro now with 13 points. All right, here comes Bam. Bam with the turnaround jumper. He misses it. Rebound by Chicago. The Bulls right now on a 7-0 run. There's Ayo Dosunmu, and that makes it a 10-0 run as the Bulls knock down that 3. And that prompts a Heat timeout. Just like I mentioned before, the Bulls can go on a run, and this is right now a 10-0 run from Chicago. The Heat have a 1-point lead. They lead 67-66. And we are back. Score is 67-66. Here comes Kaspers Yakajunas. Yakajunas finds Pelle Larsson for 3. And Pelle Larsson knocks down that 3, and that will end the Bulls' 10-0 run. Larsson right now with 13 points, shooting 33% from the field, from 3-point land. Here comes Buzelis for 3. Misses that one. Ball goes sailing out of bounds. Let's see who was that on. See, that was last touched by the Bulls. Yes, it was last touched by the Bulls, so it'll be Heat ball. And Kasper Jakajunas almost looks like he almost got socked in the face. Nope, I'm sorry. It's going to be Chicago ball instead. Isaac Okoro has the ball. Finds Patrick Williams for three. And Patrick Williams knocks it down. The Bulls are back within one. Alright, here comes Pelle Larsson. Larsson with the pump fake. And he gets the layup. And the Heat are back up by 3. Here comes Ayo Dosunmu flying into the lane. Loses the ball, and here comes Pelle Larsson. Alright, Wiggins gives it to Larsson. Here comes Myron Gardner. Gardner to Bam. Here goes Wiggins to Larsson for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Chicago. Matas Buzelis driving into the lane. He misses it. Rebound by Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins finds Myron Gardner. Myron Gardner going coast to coast. Referee saying it's going to be an offensive foul on Gardner, but Miami's looking to challenge. Miami looking for the challenge. I'm pretty sure. Yep, it's going to be a it's going to be a team challenge. Chicago right now with 16 turnovers. Miami with 9. All right, so the referees will look at whether or not that was an offensive foul on Myron Gardner. All right, let's see what took place. All right, there was some contact between Myron Gardner's arm and Ayo Dosunmu's face. That I'm pretty sure that looks like an offensive foul. From that vantage point, it looked like an offensive foul. Yeah, that's definitely an offensive foul. That's an offensive foul, and Miami's going to lose a timeout for that. All right, so the ruling from that challenge is it was a foul on Chicago, and Myron Gardner will go to the line for the and one. So it wasn't an offensive foul like I thought it was for Miami. So it will be an and one opportunity for Myron Gardner. Gardner already with 7 points in this game. And Gardner knocks down that one. So right now it's a 6-point game for Miami. Miami already with 30 bench points to Chicago's 18. Here comes Ayo Dosunmu. Gives it to Isaac Okoro. Okoro driving into the lane. And he gets the layup. So right now, the Bulls are within 4. Here comes Larsson. And Larsson with a scoop layup. And that puts Miami back up by 6. Larson already with 17 points in this game, going 5 for 8 from the field. Here comes Patrick Williams. Gives it to Isaac Okoro. To Ayo Dosunmu for 3. And Ayo Dosunmu knocked that down from South Beach. So right now, the Bulls up within 3. Here comes Pelle Larsson. To Bam for corner 3. Gets his own rebound. Drives into the lane, and he gets fouled. That foul is going to be on Patrick Williams. All right, so Bam will go to the line for 2 free throws. Bam missing the first free throw, and Jaime Jaquez Jr. re-enters the game for Miami. He replaces Kasparas Jakujunas. And Bam goes 1 of 2 from the line. So it's now a 4-point game for the Heat. All right, and here comes Ayo Dosunmu. All right, the Bulls still have the ball, swinging it around. All right, they still give it to Ayo Dosunmu. Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulties. All right, again. All right, the Bulls still have the ball. All right, right now Miami has the ball back. So far, it's been back and forth between these two teams. Right now, the Bulls. Right now, the Heat have a 2-point lead. It's now 80-78. Byron Gardner knocking down the first free throw. And Gardner knocks down both free throws. So now the Heat have a 5-point lead. All right, now here comes the 3-pointer. Ayo Dosunmu. Javon Carter has it. Out to Dosunmu. That's a 3 from Isaac Okoro, and that one goes in. So now it's 80-78. All right, here comes Pelle Larsson with the spin. Gives it to Wiggins for 3. That one rims out. Alright, so right now, Myron Gardner returning to the line from Miami. He misses that free throw. He misses both free throws. Rebound recovered by Chicago. Here comes Buzelis. Buzelis gives it to Dosunmu. Sorry, we're still. So right now the Bulls have an 81-80 lead. But then the Miami Heat comes right back with a basket of their own to retake the lead. So far it's been back and forth between these two teams. So far, it's been back and forth between these two teams in the second half. Miami has a 1-point lead. Simone Fontecchio now enters the game for Miami. He replaces Myron Gardner. And Jalen Phillips comes in the game for Chicago. He replaces Isaac Okoro. Right now the Bulls retake the lead thanks to Ayo Dosunmu's his layup, excuse me. Right now Miami needs to come back and answer in a big way. Right, Simone Fontecchio missing that three-pointer. Rebound by Javon Carter. Right, the Bulls looking to put on more baskets for And that ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Chicago. It'll be Heat ball. And there's another three from Ayo Dosunmu, and that puts the Bulls up by 4. Javon Carter coming up with that steal. Right now, Miami needs a basket in a big way. Right now, the Bulls have a 4-point lead. Miami needs to get back on track. So Dalen Terry will go to the line for 2 free throws. That's going to be a foul on Dalen Terry. So Jaime Jaquez Jr. will go to the line for 2 free throws, excuse me. All right, Kevin Huerter is now in the game for Chicago, replacing Ayo Dosunmu. Jaime Jaquez Jr. knocks down the... Sorry, we're back on. So I was following the NBA app. So Jaime Jaquez Jr. will go to the line for 2 free throws. That foul's going to be on Dalen Terry. Alright, so Jaime Jaquez Jr. goes 1 of 2 from the line. Kevin Huerter came up with a rebound. Here comes Ulbrich. He gives it to to Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter knocking down that 3, and that puts Chicago up by 6. Alright, here come the Heat, looking to respond. That's another miss. And that's a miss from Jaquez. And here come the Bulls right now. Ulbrich getting the driving hook, and that puts the Bulls up by 8. Right now the Bulls are going on a little run of their own again. Miami coming up with that rebound. Ulbrich, and that's going to be a foul on Chicago. That will send Bam to the line for 2 free throws. Right now, Miami is struggling. Bam knocks down the first free throw. And Bam makes both free throws. So right now it is a 7-point game. Right now it's a 7-point game with the Bulls still ahead. That's going to be a turnover for the Bulls. And here comes Miami. Drew Smith missing that 3-pointer. And here comes the Bulls right now. Devon Carter has it. Right, Carter being guarded by Jaquez. This 3. Alright, Miami has a rebound. Bam with a long heave, and he misses it, and that's going to end the third quarter. Chicago right now has a 7-point lead to close out the third quarter, as they lead 91-84. Stick around, we got the fourth quarter coming for each and every one of you. Keep it blocked right here on Kendall Sports Network. Alright, and we are back. Score is 91-84. It is the fourth quarter. Miami needs to make a comeback. Here comes Simone Fontecchio. Gives it to Drew Smith. Finds Bam. Here comes Bam. And he gets the basket under duress. Right now, the Heat are trailing by 5. Bam Adebayo so far. He has 8 points, gone 2 for 9 from the field. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable for Bam. He needs to get going and right now, because this quarter needs to be his quarter. All right, Chicago has the ball. And Javon Carter knocks. Sorry, Dalen Terry makes that layup. Here comes Miami. And Javon Carter gets called for the foul. So it's going to be 2 free throws for Miami. All right, Bam Adebayo will go to the line for 2 free throws. Bam knocks down the first. And Bam knocks down both free throws. So right now it's a 5-point game. All right, here comes Chicago. We're gonna answer back. All right, Chicago passing the ball around. They're looking for somebody who got the shot. There's still no basket from Chicago, even though they have a 5-point lead in this game. Now, right, Dalen Terry missing that 3-pointer. Right now, the Heat starting to make a comeback, and another missed 3 for Chicago. And Bam Adebayo knocks down that 3. And right now, the Heat are trailing by 5 in this one. Dalen Terry missing that layup, and that's a rebound for Miami. The Heat looking to respond. They're trying to get back into this one. Simone Fontecchio missing that 3. Rebound by Miami, and that's going to be a foul on Chicago. Not sure who the foul is on, but that's going to be 2 free throws for Miami either way. All right, so it's a loose ball foul on Dalen Terry, the referees say. So it's going to be a loose ball foul on Dalen Terry. And we're going to have ourselves a timeout from Chicago. Right now, the Heat starting to make a run of their own, but the Bulls lead 96-91. And we are back. Score is 96-91, Chicago. Right now, Chicago putting in some substitutions. Yuki Kawamura is now in the game for Chicago, excuse me. Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Pelle Larsson are now in the game for Miami. Kevin Huerter is Jalen Phillips is also in the game for Chicago. Alright, so right now the Heat have a steep hill to climb. Let's see what the Heat can do. Okay, so right now it's 96-88. Chicago will inbound the ball. Here comes Dalen Terry. Terry being guarded by Pelle Larsson. Here comes Isaac Okoro, guarded by Drew Smith. Drew Smith gets fouled. Isaac Okoro gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. All right, Dalen Terry goes to the line for 2 free throws. Isaac Okoro goes to the line for 2 free throws. He knocks down the first free throw. And Isaac Okoro goes 1 of 2 from the line. And there's Simone Fontecchio with the corner 3. He misses it. Rebound by Kawamura. All right, and here comes Miami comes up with that steal. Here comes Byron Gardner, going coast to coast. Oh, and he crashes right into. I think that was Isaac Okoro. So I think that's gonna be a. No, that should be either an offensive foul or. Not sure if it's going to be an offensive foul on Miami or a defensive foul on Chicago. Yeah, it's going to be an offensive foul on Miami. All right, here comes Dalen Terry. Ball's knocked loose. It's going to be Chicago ball. Chicago will inbound the ball. Gives it to Isaac Okoro. Misses that basket. Here comes Miami. Alright, here comes Bam for three. And suddenly the Heat are back into this one. Bam Bam Adebayo knocking down that basket. Right now, the Heat are trying to come back into this one. And then Yuki Karamura answers back with 3 of his own. Yuki Karamura right now with 6 points for the Bulls. And that's going to be a shooting foul. And that's going to be a personal foul on Patrick Williams. That will send Drew Smith to the line for 2 free throws. Drew Smith knocks down the first free throw. And Drew Smith making the second one. So right now it's a 3-point game. Here comes Chicago. And they answer right back with a basket from Matas Buzelis. Right now, the Heat are trying to come back in this one. And that's going to prompt a Heat timeout. Miami has a lot of answers right. Miami has a lot of questions that he's answering right now. It's still a close game, but they need to dig deep for this one. Chicago leads 102-97. And we are back. Score is 102-97. Chicago has the lead. All right, Miami will have it side out. Here comes Kasper Jakajunas. Yuki Kawamura tangles for the ball. I think that's going to be a jump ball. Either that's a jump ball or it's going to be Chicago ball. Either way, Yuki Kawamura showing a lot of heart and desire and hustle. All right, so it's going to be a jump ball between. Jakajunas and Kawamura. Kawamura, of course, the smaller of the two men here. And Chicago comes up with that. Chicago wins the tip-off. Here comes Kawamura. Gives it to Kevin Huerter. Stolen away by Miami. Here comes. And Kawamura comes up with a steal. Ball is knocked loose, and that will go right back. It's going to be Chicago ball. Yuki Kawamura showing more of that heart and that grit. Even going as far to win that tip-off against Kasper Jakajunas. Hey, don't sleep on Yuki Kawamura. He may be small, but he's definitely the one to watch. Now here comes Kevin Huerter. Patrick Williams lost the ball, but he gets fouled. So that should send Patrick Williams to the line for 2 free throws, or it's gonna be side out for Chicago. Referees are discussing who touched the ball last. It is going to be Heat ball. It is going to be Heat ball. All right, here comes Hawkins. Hawkins gives the ball to Jakajunas. Bam, sending the screen. Here comes Jakajunas. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Miami. That's going to be an illegal screen on Miami. Oh, no, that's going to be a back elbow from Jakajunas. And there's Patrick Williams for the dunk. And now the Bulls are up by 7. Here comes Bam, guarded by Patrick Williams. Bam with the fadeaway, and he gets the basket. And the Heat trail by 5. All right, here goes Kevin Huerter. Finds Matas Buzelis. Buzelis drives in, and he gets a layup. And the Bulls go back up to 7. Bam. Bam gets fouled and goes for the and 1. Offense right now going through Bam as he's been getting some baskets right from Miami. All right, so Bam at the line. Misses the and 1 opportunity, and here comes the Bulls. So far in this game, Bam right now has 21 points. Here comes Kevin Huerter. Herder finds Patrick Williams for three. That rims off. Rebound by Pelle Larsson. Here goes Larsson. And I think that's going to be a holding foul on Chicago. Yeah, it's a holding foul in Chicago. Miami will have it side out. All right, here comes Bam. Here comes Drew Smith. Out to Jaquez for three. And Jaime Juanwick Jaquez. Three from Miami. And now all of a sudden, the Heat are within two. Jaquez right now with 18 points. Shooting 7 for 13 from the field. And here come the Heat again. The Heat are on a fast break. Andrew Wiggins. Jaquez is there, and he gets his 20th point. I think that's going to be a foul on Kevin Herder. Got way ahead of myself on that one. You see it again. Yeah, Kevin Herder fouled Andrew Wiggins before Jaquez ever got there. So Wiggins will go to the line for 2 free throws. Andrew Wiggins knocks down the first free throw. All right, Wiggins at the line still. Wiggins puts it up, and we're all tied at 106. Isaac Okoro missing that layup, and that's going to lead to a Heat timeout. Right now, it's a close game. Right now, we're all tied up at 106. These last minutes in the fourth quarter will be the most exciting. So stick around. And we are back. We're tied at 106. Here comes Bam for three. And that's a miss. Rebound by Chicago. Here comes Ayo Dosunmu. Dosunmu guarded by Pelle Larsson. Here comes Patrick Williams. Gives it to Matas Buzelis. Dosunmu for three. And the Ayo Dosunmu gives Chicago the lead. Right now, Ayo Dosunmu having 20 plus points in 5 of the last games against Miami right now. And Pelle Larsson answers back with a 3 of his own, and we are tied at 109. Back and forth we go in this game. All right, here come the Bulls. Ayo Dosunmu brings it up to the floor. Dosunmu gives it to Matas Buzelis. And Dosunmu answers with a 3-pointer of his own. Andrew Wiggins answering back with a layup of his own. Right now, Miami are trailing by a point in this game. Back and forth we go between these two teams. Dosunmu answers back with a layup of his own. And right now, he has 29 points in this game. And Andrew Chief Wiggins with a 3 in response. And right now, we are tied at 116. And that's plus a foul on Matas Buzelis, and that's going to send Wiggins to the line for an and-one opportunity. A rare 4-point play, I should say. And Yuki Kawamura is entering back into the game for Chicago. Wiggins misses that free throw. Rebound by Bam. Right now we're still tied at 116. Miami's passing the ball around. They're looking to find somebody they're looking for somebody open, or at least near the rim to get to the basket. Joakim Noah is also in the building for tonight's game. All right, it's going to be a jump ball between Dalen Terry and Bam. Dalen Terry wins the tip. Chicago has the ball right now. Ayo Dosunmu brings it up to the floor. And it's a turnover on Miami. Dalen Terry comes away with a steal. So far, this has been edge of your seat basketball right now. And Matas Buzelis gets the layup over Chicago. Jaime Hawkins Jr. drives in for the layup. He misses it. Rebound by Yuki Kawamura. Oh boy, and a 3 from Matas Buzelis, and that's going to lead to a Heat timeout with 39 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Right now, Chicago is leading 121 to 116. And we are back. Score is 121 to 116, Chicago. Right now, the Bulls are in the driver's seat, and with very little time remaining, Miami needs to do something and fast. Perhaps somebody who's hot from three-point land come up with a steal and come back to tie the game. All right, here we go. Bam Adebayo looking for the three. He misses it. Rebound by Chicago. It's going to be a loose ball foul on Jaime Jaquez Jr., his fifth. And that will send Dalen Terry to the line for 2 free throws. And that's going to lead to a Heat timeout. Right now, the Heat are struggling. And nothing is looking good right now for them. Right now it's a timeout, and we're right back for more Heat action. All right, we are back. Score is 121 to 116. Chicago has a 5-point lead. The Heat right now need to come up with something. Right, Miami will have it side out instead. Jaquez finds Larson. Larson, corner three. He misses it. Rebound by Matas Buzelis. And Buzelis gets fouled. And Buzelis will go to the line for 2 free throws. All right, Bucelis knocks down the first free throw. And Matas Bucelis makes both free throws, so it's now a 7-point lead. Here comes Wiggins for three. That misses. Rebound by Drew Smith. Finds Hawkins for three. That's another miss. Rebound by Ayo Dosunmu. And I think this one might do it. Here comes Patrick Williams. That's going to be a foul for Miami. And that's going to send Patrick Williams to the line for 2 free throws. All right, Patrick Williams knocks down the first free throw. And he makes both. So it's a 9-point game. There's Hawkins with a layup. And I don't think that's going to matter either way, because this one is over. The Bulls come to South Beach and they get a big win, 125 to 118. You talk about a tough break. This is one right here. You know, the Heat managed to get some aggressive defensive moments in the second quarter, and even some in the third quarter. But by the fourth quarter, that aggressive defense was nowhere to be found. It also didn't help that Miami offense was on and off. It was intermittent at times. Miami definitely looked like a different team from what they were 24 hours ago. Meanwhile, the Bulls, even without Kobe White and Josh Giddey, they managed to pick themselves back up and managed to get some baskets of their own. I mean, Ayo Dosunmu, he continues to be a major threat to Miami, and he put up, once again, another 20-plus point performance. He almost could have went for 30 if he wanted to. But nevertheless, this was a tough loss for Miami. The Heat continue to be 1 step forward, 2 steps back this season. And of course, this isn't the last time we will see the Bulls. For the Heat, Myron Gardner, in his starting debut, had a double-double of 12 points and 11 rebounds. Andrew Wiggins had 17 points. Pelle Larsson led the way with 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. Jaime Jaquez Jr. had 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists off the bench. So, Gainwell Balandres. If you had put money on Jaime Jaquez Jr. to reach 20 points or more in that stat line that you had mentioned earlier, you would have been paid, man. You would have been paid. And of course, Bam Adebayo had a double-double of 21 points and 11 rebounds. And for the Chicago Bulls, Isaac Okoro had 20 points. Matas Bucelis had 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Patrick Williams had 15 points. Jevon Carter came off the bench with 11 points. And Ayo Dosunmu with a near triple-double of 29 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. Again, it's a tough loss for Miami. Not much they can do about it other than pick themselves back up, which they will do for tomorrow's game against these same Chicago Bulls. That game starts tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and you can watch that on NBA League Pass, FanDuel Sports Network Sun, or if you're in Miami, your local WPLG Channel 10. Again, Heat Bulls tomorrow at 6 o'clock on NBA League Pass, FanDuel Sports Network Sun, or WPLG Local 10 in Miami. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in for tonight's game. For those of you who are just lurking or just wanted to hear the play-by-play or look at the scoreboard, which should have the final score of the game, which unfortunately it doesn't. But again, I thank each and every one of you for tuning in, even with the technical difficulties that were going on. But nevertheless, I do what I can to provide good commentary, good feedback, and some good play-by-play. I know basketball is a very fast-paced game, and you have to cover all the action, and that's what I do, and that's what I always do on every live stream here on Kendall Sports Network. But again, I thank each and every one of you for tuning in, and I appreciate those who commented, and I'm glad I've reached out to each and every one of you. So it makes my day, regardless. It makes my day, as well as yours, because we're all having a conversation about basketball. So with that said, take care of one another, love each other, always look out for each other, be kind to one another, and always make sure that love and kindness is reciprocated. And always know that no matter what you're going through, you are loved, needed, and someone out there cherishes you, because you never know when that day comes. I'm Deron Butler, reminding you to always run through the paint. Take care. God bless. I love you guys. And as always, go Heat. See you tomorrow at 6 for another clash between the Heat and the Bulls in South Beach.